Eyewitness News reporter Matt Rodewald is the only reporter that's followed this from the beginning, and he has more now. Matt?
Nick and Mimi, the pain of losing a child is something that no parent should ever have to go through. Tonight, we met parents at each vigil who've had the unenviable task of burying their own children. And while they can understand the feeling to some degree, the murder of 8-year-old Thomas Casal has touched the hearts of everyone in Rockford.
That's my memory of a little boy that I met once. I'm sorry.
The powerful emotion of the murder of an 8-year-old boy has shaken the core along the state line.
There's no pain like losing a child. There's just not.
The outpouring of support for the family of Thomas Casal overflowed with grief as hundreds attended 2 vigils in Rockford.
Honestly, I want to cry. I do. I mean, seeing this, it's mind-blowing. It is.
I apologize. This isn't easy for me.
Chad Rogers spoke of his own tragic loss as a motivation to help the family's father, Michael Casal, a co-worker of his at Lube Pros.
I lost my son almost 2 years ago, come this November. I know the pain of losing a child. It is not easy. It is extremely hard.
People we don't know are holding fundraisers to help us pay for memorial expenses and rebuilding the family's life.
A family spokesperson struggling to thank the community. With the neighborhood still in shock, Catherine Ayala knows the grief all too well.
You don't ever get over it. It gets easier day by day, but you never get over it.
We will lovingly lay Thomas to rest with his Lightning McQueen pillow and his blanket that he slept with every night. We love you, Thomas.
The full statement from the Casal family is on our website at mystateline.com. If you'd like to help, you can find ways to donate directly to the family. The visitation and the funeral is tomorrow afternoon at Mount Olive Lutheran Church. And again, the mother sits in jail tonight facing 2 first-degree murder charges. She's being held on $2 million bond, awaiting her next court appearance coming up in October. Mimi?
But first, Jefferson's decision to end their season early will impact the 2 teams remaining on their schedule.
The Jayhawks were set to host Harlem this Friday and then go to Belvedere North next week. Eyewitness News reporter Matt Rodewald went to both schools today to get reaction.
Yeah, needless to say, they're both disappointed. Football players are creatures of habit, and routine is crucial. When you have a week off in the middle of the season, it's very unusual. On the field, Harlem and Belvedere North will face the same challenge of not being challenged on the gridiron, but off the field, the financial ripple effect from Jefferson is being felt even more in Boone County. The reality in the Nick 10 is when you don't play football, you don't make any money.
If you're baseball or softball where you got 35 games to play, losing that 1 game is not a big issue. When you only have 9 games, that 1 game is over 10% of your season.
The gates are closed here at Milt Brown Stadium, and they will be next Friday for the scheduled matchup against Jefferson High School. And the problem with that is, with the school district already hurting for cash, the athletic department is out even more, with ticket revenues for 1 single football game estimating at $8,000, all gone because of the cancellation.
It's very frustrating, but we'll make do. We hope for a good week this week. Boylan's always a good game for us as far as concessions go. We usually do about $4,000 to $6,000 in concessions alone.
By far, football is our biggest money maker for concessions. So yeah, it affects us in more than one way.
Yeah, run with them, run with them. Players kept working at Belvedere North, with the top-ranked Titans coming to town this Friday.
We're 3-0 this year at home, and our kids really like playing in front of their fans, in front of their friends. So to not have that opportunity, I think no matter what you tell them, they're still going to be disappointed.
As for Harlem, instead of putting in the game plan for Jefferson, offensive players were putting in time in the weight room. Friday's forfeit gives the Huskies a win and a bid to the postseason.
We'd rather earn the victory. We'd rather have the memories and the sense of accomplishment and preparation leading up to it rather than having it just being handed to us.
A Friday night without football. A little bit strange.
It's not an easy decision to make, and I'm glad I didn't have to make it.
Now, Belvedere North again playing host to Boylan on Friday night, and that means that senior night for football players, cheer team, POMs, and the band will all be moved up 1 week. But that changes a lot of plans for families wanting to share in that moment, and that also means lost revenue from grandparents and other distant relatives that may only come to see that one particular game. Mimi?
Yeah, a lot of disappointment. All right, thanks, Matt.
Eyewitness News reporter Matt Rodewald is live in Loves Park tonight with the latest. Matt?
Nick and Mimi, it was pretty scary for some out here, but it turned out okay as the neighborhood tonight breathes a sigh of relief. Police did not find any suspicious package here in the basement at Hope and Anchor Pub. Roads are open, people are back in their homes, and the business is back to normal inside the bar, but it sure made for an interesting Tuesday. It's not very often you see a police presence like this.
This is usually what we see on CNN.
It's pretty interesting. Had to come and see what was going on.
Yet all this was because of a relationship that turned sour between the Hope and Anchor Pub and a neighbor who lived down the street.
He used to come here frequently with his wife and his kids. We started to notice that when he would drink, that he would start having anger issues.
Robin says Tony Giuliano became a problem, and she says it was to the point where they stopped serving him.
And so we had to ban him from drinking here.
Today he came back and slipped in through the side door.
We immediately called the police and he ran out.
He resisted, was tased as a result by one of our officers.
Because he left a bag behind, police took exceptional caution, and for 5 hours Loves Park was at a standstill.
Businesses are along the way here, they're aware of what's going on. A couple of the houses where this house is of interest, they're pretty much cleared in.
Yeah, nothing was found at this time. No package was ID'd.
The all clear came just after 7 o'clock, and it was back to work at the bar.
This was kind of an exciting day today, but every day is exciting at the pub.
So what's on special tonight?
Actually, we have our own shot. It's called the Time Bomb. That's on special tonight for $5. It's normally $8. So you can't beat that.
A time bomb, no time like the presence for that. Of course, Giuliano is facing criminal trespassing charges and resisting arrest charges. Nick and Mimi, it's also trivia night here at the bar. This will be a nice answer to a trivia question at some point down the road. Reporting live from Loves Park, Matt Rodewald, Eyewitness News.
It's just fortunate that it all worked out and everybody's safe. All right, thanks, Matt.
Eyewitness News reporter Matt Rodewald is here with more. Love this story.
Fun to meet the family today. NIU proud, and another look at their university for sure, their alma mater. Saturday happened to be Zach's 6th birthday party. He got lots of presents on that day, but he received the best present, and that was a month ago when he had a chance to sack NIU Heisman Trophy candidate Jordan Lynch at practice. It was a spur-of-the-moment request, but the spontaneous play has caught the attention of the nation, been the talk of social media, and it's brought a family full circle. Zach Dacey has the look of any other 6-year-old boy, but his fight against leukemia is around the clock as he's woken up every night to take a chemotherapy pill. How hard is that?
Hard.
Yeah?
They wake me up like really late.
But he loves football, he loves the Packers, he loves NIU, and he loves defense. When the Dacey family had a chance to visit their alma mater to watch practice, no one envisioned Zach making a tackle of a lifetime.
I was just going to go up and say hi and then get him up with the team, and then him and his parents mentioned something about sacking the quarterback.
Well, all of a sudden, Coach Carey got the team up and said, okay, let's set it up.
And from there, Zach went to work.
Go, 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 go!
Great experience, for both of us. It was a great experience for me just seeing that, and anything to help out a kid like that, I'll do.
A great moment, and Dad missed it.
I ended up taking one quick photo of Zach as he was getting into the three-point stance and realized he was slightly out of frame, and I was still then trying to correct the angle on that. I never even saw it.
But as the internet would have it, social media took over a few days later.
I'm like, okay, I'm just going to pop on and see what the weather is, and I look, and somebody had posted a screenshot with Zach and his picture on that, and I'm like, what the heck is this?
Social media kind of takes on life of its own. Doesn't need any help from me.
A day of dreams in DeKalb, and a little fun, even if there was a little sandbagging going on.
He wasn't really blocking.
I gave him my all to block him. He gave me a nice 1-2. I think that was probably our first sack alive.
Isn't that adorable?
Yes,
absolutely.
it is.
And you can find the video on our website at mystateline.com. It's a tremendous story, and the good news is that Zach is supposed to be okay by 2015.
Oh, thank goodness.
His recovery is going very well, and there's some arguments whether that's the first sack or not given up by NIU. I have to check with Scott and check the stats on that.
I'm glad a 6-year-old did that.
That's right. Of all things, at least it's for a good cause.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Matt, for that awesome story.
Eyewitness News reporter Matt Rodewald was out with shoppers today, and he's here with more, quite a variety.
Yeah, people out there now doing a smart thing, because next week it's just going to be absolutely
chaotic.
crazy at some of these places for sure. In the famous Michael Jackson song Thriller, you know, the one you're going to hear at every Halloween party for the rest of your life, Vincent Price says the line, "The midnight hour is close at hand." It's still at least 2 weeks before the clock strikes midnight on the Halloween season, and for thrift shops and pop-up stores, this is their holiday shopping rush.
A big brother tormenting a little sister. This is what Halloween's all about. What's scarier for adults is having all these costume choices to pick from. It used to be so simple.
I've been shopping around trying to find the right pieces for my costume, so this is my third store that I've been to today.
She got what she wanted, but it wasn't easy.
There's tons of options. The hard thing for me is finding something that's work appropriate, but there's hundreds of options.
Pop-up stores like Spirit Halloween and Halloween City have taken over empty retail outlets. Inside, you'll find Stateliners spending money to get the right look. But the big push is still coming.
In the last 2 weeks, when people are really trying to cram in and get that perfect Halloween costume, that's when we plan on seeing the big numbers.
Thrift superstores are also pushing hard for Halloween dollars.
We just never really marketed it as much as we should, but Goodwills as a whole throughout the nation really this year are focusing on it.
Nowadays, the focus is even on how your front lawn looks.
We got a lot of fog machines, a lot of skeletons, gravestones, ghouls, zombies, you name it. The house is all lit up in red lights. It's evolved into a pretty big deal for us, and over the last 7-8 years, it's kind of grown into a much bigger display for outside kind of thing.
As for the costume selection, superhero t-shirt, check. Sexy twist on the classic, done. Miley Cyrus costume, couldn't find one. You might have to create it yourself.
Those are the costumes that are going to win the Halloween contest, and people know that.
Yeah, not one single Miley Cyrus costume. Part of it has to do with the fact that the VMA performance that everyone has now seen happened just, what, 6 weeks ago, really?
Yeah.
So it was a quick turnaround for production teams at that point. So if you're planning on twerking, you may have to be making your own costume to be doing it. By the way, O'Connor says his house on Prospect that he has all dialed up saw nearly 1,200 kids come by last year. So it is nice.
That's a
we
lot
may
of
have
candy.
to take a ride by
I
ourselves.
like that. All right. Thanks, Matt.
A new statewide study shows that, in short, people really like to gamble here along the state line. Eyewitness News reporter Matt Rodewald is here to explain those numbers. Matt?
Nick, Mimi, Kenny Rogers' song The Gambler had one distinct verse that you all know. Know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. But for two communities right here in Winnebago County, clearly people playing the slots have no idea.
If it seems like it's everywhere, you're right. Video gaming is all over the place along the state line, and it's for one obvious reason.
Well, I like the extra income from it.
All that money going into the slots could be going to other local businesses instead. That's revenue that's fading away for two state line communities.
Not only are we losing money through the gambling sources, but we're losing money through sales tax revenue. So I said, I think not only are we seeing that, but if you have to study that out, I think you'd find that true with the other major cities around our state.
According to an Illinois Gaming Board study, 2 of the top 3 cities come from right here in the area in terms of money lost by people playing video gaming machines. But how does that happen?
That money is money in, money out, money back in. So they're winning and putting it back in, what it amounts to. So that's why I think it gets that high.
And with more slots being put in every day, the pie isn't getting any bigger.
When I started out, I was probably making $2,000 a month more than what I am now. Mine have already shown a decrease from more machines being in the area.
Gambling opponents look at the liquor license process as one way to slow the slots.
I believe perhaps some control can go there because they have to have a liquor license in order to get the gaming license.
Here, everybody cheers everybody on, especially when they start hearing them bells go off. They like to see who's winning what, you know.
Now, that study was only for a 9-month period from October of last year to this July, and it's giving fuel to the fire for supporters of a state-line casino. But Alderman Beach is quick to note that it is all discretionary income that could easily be going to local sales taxes. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Matt. Rockford